Hello, it's been a while. Apologies for the lack of uploads, but I've been busy, like really busy with work. And when I posted the last few videos, I had 2 weeks off of work and I just had time to do it. But since I've been back in work, it's been non-stop. So, apologies for the late video. I'm back in front of the Blu-ray collection with the old Pepsi Max. Come on, Pepsi, sponsor me. For the Pepsi break. Now this video is part one of 3 videos that I'm planning on doing. And it's looking at my Star Wars collection. Now, as you may be aware, I am a Star Wars fan. I have Star Wars figures on my Blu-ray shelves. I have the box for the Star Wars droid figure. I also have the Lego Boba Fett helmet because Boba Fett is my favourite of the Star Wars characters. But I also have Star Wars in abundance on physical media. So what I'm planning on doing is going through the physical media releases that I have of each trilogy. So there's going to be the prequels, the original, and unfortunately the Disney movies. But I'm also going to include Rogue One and Solo. I do have the Ewoks. But I don't really know where they are. I think they might be in storage. But I'm going to do this video in release order. So I'm going to start with the original trilogy with Star Wars from 1977. I do actually have another physical release of this, but I'm not sure where it is. I haven't seen it for a while. I may have sold it. I don't know. The last I remembered it was here. It was up on the top shelf. But now I don't know where the hell it's gone. It's the gold box VHS of the original trilogy. Which I'm hoping to God I find, because I know for a fact that I didn't sell it. I hope for a fact that I didn't sell it. So I'm going to start with like the 2004 trilogy release. This is the silver edition. Really nice case all the way around. Would have liked if this had come, if like the Skywalker collection had come in a case much like this, a bit like the first Star Wars Blu-ray that came out. Yeah, so they typically all look like this. This is just Star Wars A New Hope, single DVD. Comes in a box set. It has 4 discs. It has A New Hope from 1977, Empire Strikes Back from 1980, and Return of the Jedi from 1983. But it also has a bonus disc, and that bonus disc has the Empire of Dreams documentary, which is, I think, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, which goes into the making of the original trilogy, which is one of the best filmmaking documentaries that you will ever see. But I'm not going to dwell too much on that collection, because I've just acquired these on DVD. These are the limited edition Star Wars original trilogy, and these come with the original 1977, 1980 and 1983 theatrical releases. Now, these were cheap as chips. These cost me practically nothing. Return of the Jedi and the Empire Strikes Back. One was £2, one was £1.50 in CEX, and they didn't have A New Hope. So I ordered it from eBay. It was £3 from World of Books, and it showed up, and it's in pretty decent condition. The only problem is there is a bit on the cover where there was a sticker that some pillock ripped off. The other two still have the stickers. But these are really cool. I've been wanting to get these for a while. I remember when these got released, I was still working in Blockbuster at the time. And they came out. I just picked up this set. So I was just like, do I really need to pick these up? I mean, it hadn't been released on Blu-ray by then. And they were like $14.99 each. And I was like, did I really want to spend like 15 quid per movie when I bought the box? I think it was $29.99 or $24.99. I bought it from Tesco's randomly. I didn't buy it from Blockbuster. And thinking more about, like, obviously physical media and stuff like that, I thought, you know what, if I can find them cheap enough, I'll pick them up. Because what originally set me off was I bought the limited edition Return of the Jedi from CEX. This was like, I think it was £1 or £1.50. But it came from, I'm assuming, a box set which had all three of them in. And I don't like these thin cases for DVDs, so it kind of annoyed me. So I was just like, I saw them there, and I was just like, well, I have to get the proper DVD cases. And for less than £8, I guess, it's pretty good. I mean, they can line up next to the original, to the prequels I've got on DVD, and I can have the gold matching in the spines when I get to actually display these properly. But going through them, let's have a quick goosey gander. So this is the first one. This is a New Hope. New Hope has a insert with the with some original artwork, I'm assuming, and it has a nice little thing on the inside which shows you the other two films that are released, and Star Wars, Lego Star Wars 2, the PC edition, which back in the day when you buy PC games on a physical format, and it's got the rundown of all the different chapters on the discs. I mean, there are 50 chapters to each film, or to each disc. It's got the special editions, and it's got the bonus disc. And the really cool thing about this is the theatrical. This is the not the theatrical. This is the special edition, the 1997 special edition of A New Hope, and the one after it is the original 1977 theatrical release. Now, the cool thing is, on the theatrical release, because it was the first one, because it was the theatrical release that came out in 1977, it doesn't have Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. It just says Star Wars. And the reflection of that shows on the chapters. So, like, chapter 1 on the 97 release says it's got the opening logos, and then it's got A New Hope as chapter 2. Chapter 3, on the theatrical release, it's got the opening logos, which would be the original 20th Century Fox logo, and then the original green Lucasfilm logo, which wasn't the one that we're all aware of. It was just Lucasfilm, and then just Star Wars. So it starts the thing, and it's got the. I'm assuming it's got the opening crawl, because I haven't actually checked this out. I haven't seen the theatrical releases in so long, so long. And the last time that I saw them was on the old CIC VHS tapes that were pre-1997 special editions. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. I do have an issue though with the theatrical release, is that it comes in its letterboxed format of. It's got 4:3 letterbox format, aspect ratio 2.351, which is widescreen, but it takes up like half. Well, it's just a box in the center of the screen, so I'm gonna have to adjust my television to zoom in to get more of a fuller picture, because I don't particularly want to watch Star Wars like it's further away than it actually is. So the fact that it doesn't fill the whole screen and I got to fiddle around with the aspect ratio is something that kind of puts me off revisiting the theatrical release. But it's a minor inconvenience when you've got a zoom button on your TV, which, thank God for TVs with zoom buttons. But I know it's just going to bring back memories of when I was a kid that I was playing with the Star Wars figures, and we'd have like A New Hope on in the background. I'd be there with my little Luke Skywalker, my little Han Solo, you know, the original Star Wars figures that came out, and with the old big Millennium Falcon. I had the Millennium Falcon. My dad bought us a load of Star Wars toys from you could say it was like a garage sale, but I wouldn't say it was a garage sale because we don't have garage sales in the UK. I think it was like an estate clearance, and he managed to pick up all these Star Wars figures and Star Wars vehicles, because we had the Millennium Falcon, and then there was the Imperial Star Destroyer, which it didn't look like a Star Destroyer. It was just a thing with Vader's little... I suppose his little habitat, his little pod thing where he sits and he communicates, and he meditates, and his helmet comes down. So I know it's going to bring back memories watching that. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I fucking love Star Wars. I absolutely adore Star Wars. Again, like I said, I've got the figures. I've got little Mando, little Grogu. I've got a Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett. Wibbly wobbly bibbly bobbly head, and I've got my Chewbacca, I've got my Han, my droids Boba Fett, my Luke Skywalker, my knockoff Chinese Boba Fett, my Kylo Ren. Right, before everyone says, Kylo Ren is a fucking cool character. The rest of them are shit. And I've got my Lando, Return of the Jedi, General Lando Calrissian figure. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to watching A New Hope on the original theatrical. So picking that up and then picking up Empire. The Empire Strikes Back. Again, this is my favourite Star Wars film. I mean, I think it's a lot of people's favourite Star Wars film. The first one is amazing. Empire Strikes Back just ups the ante like 150,000%. Just makes it so much better. Even John Williams' score for the original New Hope, it's an amazing score. But the score for Empire Strikes Back is just chef's kiss. But it gets even better because the score he did for Return of the Jedi is even better than Empire Strikes Back. And Empire Strikes Back has one of the most beautiful pieces of music ever on it, which is Yoda's theme. And Yoda's theme is what elicits emotion from you when you watch Star Wars. It's hard to convey the emotion that I feel when I listen to John Williams' Star Wars music. Yes, there's that nostalgia from obviously being a child and watching Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. But then you hear that dun, 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 dun. And there's just something in my brain that's like, just makes me feel like I'm safe. It's weird. It's a very weird thing. Now, being a huge Star Wars fan, I'm not into the extended universe. I never read any of the books, like Rogue Squadron or the Thrawn trilogy and stuff like that. I never ever read any of that. I've listened to some of the audiobooks. It's not really for me. I like my George Lucas only Star Wars. I don't know. I think it's going to piss a lot of people off that I'm not into the extended universe, and I say I'm a massive, huge Star Wars fan. I'm a massive, huge Star Wars fan of the movies, not necessarily the stuff that was made by fans. Yeah, there's some cool shorts out there, there's some cool fan films and stuff, but again, it's not George Lucas's Star Wars. It's someone's interpretation of what they think is Star Wars, which is a lot of people dressed in robes and fake toy lightsabers running around a forest, and then a bunch of After Effects to make the lightsabers look like lightsabers. Don't get me wrong, like, going out there and actually filming something is fucking amazing. But there's just, oh my god, Empire is just amazing. It's so good. From opening on Hoth to Luke going off to finding Yoda in the swamps of Dagobah, and then Han and Leia and Chewie and C-3PO hiding in the asteroid snake's mouth. I can't even remember what it's called. To them then going to Cloud City and getting duped and what's the word for it? Betrayed by Lando. Handing Han over to Boba Fett, so the bounty that was put on his head by Jabba the Hutt ends up with him being taken to Jabba, and then Luke going from Luke training in Dagobah and then going to Cloud City, Bespin, to rescue them. It's just it's such a good film. It's very different from A New Hope. I mean, Lucas could have kind of redone somewhat the story of A New Hope with more money and like more experience, I guess, but instead he carried the story on. I mean, yes, the end of A New Hope could have just been the end of Star Wars. We could have only had A New Hope where they blow up the Death Star, they go and they celebrate, and Luke and Han get their medals at the end. Poor Chewie, he was also instrumental, and it shouldn't have taken another fucking 8 movies before Chewie got his medal for the Battle of Flavin. And BBY. Not Flavin, Yavin. Why would I say Flavin? BBY. Before the Battle of Yavin. Excuse me. And yeah, all of it is just, it just works so fucking well, and I really want to watch it again now. I really want to watch Star Wars. Now, I say Back to the Future trilogy are my favourite movies. And they are. But, let's face it, when you say a film is your favourite film, what you're really saying is you don't want everyone to know that Star Wars is your favourite film. Because, let's face it, if you're a fan of 70s, 80s and 90s science fiction, Back to the Future is there. It's like top. It's the one that you tell people, oh, Back to the Future 2 is my favourite movie of all time, or Back to the Future is my favourite movie of all time. When secretly, Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi is your favourite movie. Don't lie to yourself. It's okay if you love Star Wars. It's fine. Well, there's so many people who love Star Wars. And if someone says, what's your favourite movie? And you say Star Wars, they're going to be like, well, duh, of course it is. It's like, yeah, but it is. It's what I fucking grew up on. It's what I watched more than anything else. It's the film that I continue to go back to because it's continually watchable. The music, the acting, the fight scenes. Like, the fight at the end of Empire Strikes Back between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker is just, it's incredible. It's taken even to even more dramatic, emotional heights in Return of the Jedi, but it's still, like, the whole reveal is just, yeah, it's like, Empire Strikes Back is just fucking amazing. And that leads us to Return of the Jedi. This film is unfairly bashed. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, it's probably like the least of the 3, but that's like saying fucking Back to the Future 3 is the least of the Back to the Future trilogy. When it's clearly Back to the Future 2 is like the lesser of the 3. Because Back to the Future 3, let's face it, is the best Back to the Future movie. It's got everything. Time travel, westerns, a love story, Marty McFly, Doc, Biff, or Mad Dog Biff, Mad Dog Tannen. And it is. Let's just face it. It's the best of the Back to the Future films. Back to the Future 1's very clever. Back to the Future 2's very clever, but there's problems with it. But Back to the Future 3 is just a fun fucking movie. It is the best Back to the Future film. Like, I'm not saying Return of the Jedi is the best Star Wars film, because it's not. And I know a lot of people have the Return of the Jedi as their favourite Star Wars movie. And that's fair. That is absolutely fair. It's, to me, I look at this as like Predator. Star Wars Predator. Is there in the jungle warfare. And again, like I said about John Williams' score, this has the Luke and Leia theme, which is very similar to Yoda's theme, but then it also gives you that emotion and connection to the characters, because they are discovering that they are family that they never knew. But then you also look at Empire Strikes Back, where Leia kisses Luke, and Luke's like, yeah, baby, I just got off with Leia. And it's like, no, dude, that's your fucking sister. But yeah, like, it's got the asteroid belt. It's got the attack on. It's got the battle above Endor with the blowing up of the second Death Star, with Lando in charge of the Millennium Falcon and in space. And then you've got fucking Han and Chewie and the Ewoks taking on the Imperials to knock out the satellite relay that will allow them to destroy the shield of the Death Star, which then allows fucking Lando to fly in and take out the little small I don't know what they call it, bit that produces the shield. But while all that shit's going on, you've got Luke facing Vader, and then facing like the Emperor Palpatine, and it's just it all like the Luke Skywalker saga from A New Hope until Return of the Jedi is so brilliantly written that you connect on such a emotional and personal level with Luke, because he was a person who came from nothing and became something, because he realized that he was a special person. But he also had that dilemma of realizing that his father is the second most evil man in the galaxy, when he was originally supposed to be, as the Phantom Menace and the prequel trilogy shows, that he was supposed to be the one to bring balance to the Force. He was the chosen one. As Obi-Wan says, you were the chosen one, you were to bring balance to the Force, but he inevitably gives into his emotional side, his attachments, because Jedis are supposed to not form attachments, but it's impossible to not form an attachment when you are in love with someone, or you find your own mother has been basically killed by people. And I'm not going to talk too much about the prequels, because that's going to be for another video. But it's just that whole three film arc of Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie. It's just so well constructed over the course of those three films that you connect more with those characters. Like Han's character arc from being a smuggler, basically a pirate, and a rogue, from being that guy who has got a bounty on his head from Jabba the Hutt, to him becoming General Solo in Empire. I mean, you can tell the turning point for Han Solo is at the end, towards the end of New Hope, where he shows up and he's like, woohoo, in the Millennium Falcon, and starts taking out TIE fighters left, right, and centre. But every single character has the perfect story arc. Well, every single main character has the perfect story arc. And I'd like to say, and I know a lot of people really, really piss on this film, and it pisses me off that people rip on this movie. If I can find it, where the fuck is it? There it is. But Disney made two good Star Wars movies, Rogue One and Solo. Star Wars story. Now, hear me out. Solo is a great movie. It is a fantastic space western. Think of Firefly. Think of heist movies. Think of Star Wars, but Firefly and heist movies. And that's this. And it gives Chewie a really good, interesting sort of backstory as to, well, I suppose you could say Revenge of the Sith gave Chewie the origin of his backstory. He was a commander in the Wookiee army on Kashyyyk when Order 66 execute Order 66. It is 66, isn't it? Yeah, execute Order 66. I think it's 66. It's not 86. And he's there with Yoda. And people are like, well, why didn't Yoda remember Chewbacca? It was because Yoda spent the entirety of the original trilogy on Dagobah, in the swamps. He has no idea if Chewie's still even alive. They haven't seen each other in 20 years. But, yeah, so it's a really cool, like, little backstory of to how Han and Chewie met in this. And I really like how they did it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in another video, but Solo is really good. Give it another try. So yeah, I mean, it's not the best of the original trilogy, and that's a fact. But again, when you follow Empire Strikes Back, which is widely regarded as the best Star Wars movie, come on, we know it is. It's Return of the Jedi, it's never going to hit the same heights as Empire Strikes Back or A New Hope. But what it does is that it ends the story in a meaningful, emotional, and brilliant way. It ends that first story arc that Lucas came up with, which is the father and the son, obviously. So that's those, and obviously that's got the original theatrical release on it as well from 1983. I know I didn't really go over that much of that. Then we have the first Blu-ray release of it says the complete saga, because this is pre-Disney owning Star Wars, I believe, because this is still 20th Century Fox. It's the Star Wars collection. This has got the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy on there. I'm not really going to go over much of this, but this is a very cool box set, and it's a very, very nice box set as well. It has beautiful artwork on it, which is a shame that this is so beautiful and so well put together, hard box and everything, that this, while being a good collection, is a fucking shit, absolutely shit presentation. It's got a Death Star on it on both sides. It's got this fucking stupid flap on the top and this stupid flap at the front, and it's shit. And I do not like the packaging on this. It's a great collection because it does have all 9 movies, but the packaging is shockingly bad, and yes, I dislike this. I would have liked to have seen it in a hard box book, like the first release, or like they've done the each trilogy as separate mini box sets with the white covers. But yeah, this is really good. This was a great upgrade from the DVDs, because obviously I was watching the DVDs over and over and over and over, and to finally see Star Wars in some form of high definition, in high def remasters, absolutely blew my mind. And I have watched Star Wars on Disney Plus in 4K. I've spoken about it many times. I do not have a 4K television in my bedroom, but we have a 4K 55-inch TV downstairs, and I can watch 4K movies through on that. And I've also got my Xbox is downstairs, and that's also a 4K Blu-ray player. And then finally, the original trilogy from the Skywalker collection, or the Skywalker saga, comes in this white packet, sort of fold out, what do they call these, digipacks, I guess, with each individual film and its bonus disc in separate sections. This is just the regular Blu-ray, it's not the 4K. I actually quite like this packaging. I would have liked to have seen this sort of packaging for each collection. Let me find it. Released separately. Obviously, I would like to have seen a bit more artwork on the front, but I really love how they line up, and I would have liked to have gotten each collection in a separate sort of hard box, again like the original trilogy, well, like the original collection, and then this would have slipped out. So a bit like the Dawn of the Dead, Second Sight, or the Flight of the Navigator, like a hard case. But yeah, I quite like the white and how it lines up. But yeah, this is the saga. Like I said, I hate the packaging, but I like the insides. I mean, look at it. It's they didn't even fucking try, did they? Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. So, in conclusion, I fucking love the original Star Wars trilogy. It's what I grew up on. It was one of the first films I remember seeing. It was the original Star Wars was the first film. Was it the original one, Empire Strikes Back? I can't really remember. But one of my earliest memories of watching Star Wars is when I was very, very young. We had all the Star Wars figures when we were kids. I've still got a box full of the original Star Wars figures that are in my cupboard. It has like old Return of the Jedi Lando and stuff. And yeah, so this is going to be basically part 1. I will do a part 2, which will look at the prequel trilogies, which I do need to find, because I don't know where they are. And I don't particularly want to just use the bare-ass white box, because I want to show the actual covers. I don't have individual Blu-rays of the prequels. I have them individually on DVD. But again, I don't know where they are. They might be in storage. They might be in a bag under my bed, actually. If not, I'll just fucking buy them again, because they're like 50p in CEX. So this is part 1. Again, sorry for the delay in posting a video. I will, at some point, try and get back into doing more regular videos. It's just with work and stuff like that, it's very difficult to keep up. I mean, like I said, when I did the last few videos, I did it when I had 2 weeks holiday, so I had the time to be able to do them. But I will try and get back into doing more of these videos that you guys like to watch. Again, thank you all for watching, for subscribing, for commenting on the vids, and again, apologies for the delay in posting. This is part 1 of the Star Wars universe of physical media. So, yeah, cheers all. And as usual, throw up the peace sign. Peace. I'm out.